Hello, here we are on a Saturday, the day before we're supposed to make a video talking about time management.
That's so true.
Hey guys, as always, make sure to like and subscribe to the video. The more that you comment and like and subscribe, the more that the algorithm is going to push out our video. And so right now we have 110 subscribers. Thank you guys so much. Really, our goal is to reach 1,000 subscribers. We don't know when that's going to happen. But if you guys comment and you guys like and subscribe, I know it sounds annoying. I know it's like, it takes a second to do, but please, if you could do that, just comment anything. It's really going to help us out. It really helps the algorithm to know that our channel is thriving and living. And so the past couple videos, we really haven't gotten any comments except for one from Engineered by God, which is an amazing channel you guys should check out. Yeah, the more you guys comment and subscribe and like, it's really going to help us out. What's up, guys? I'm Brandon, and this is Vanessa. Welcome to the Snipe Life, where we look at creativity through the lens of Christianity. And today we're going to be talking about a little bit of time management, which we're not the best at, but we do have some tips for you guys and some things that we think about on a weekly basis, kind of going through our business and going through our lives. So to give you a little bit of background about us, this year we launched our own company. Essentially, Vanessa lost her job a few months ago. So we basically decided, we have these skills, we have these things that we can do to make money on the side. And so why not just jump full force into it? And what would that look like if we really did that? And so now we basically run our own small business. And that's how we make a big portion of our money, is through that. And so we do websites and video production, ads and things like that, and also photography. And so with all of those things sort of put together, we've learned a thing or two about time management and figuring out exactly how to get yourself on track, even when you're working from home, even when you're working for yourself. I think it can definitely be difficult, but we're going to talk about that today.
So a few things that I've encountered being an entrepreneur is I either get overwhelmed or I procrastinate, or even getting distracted. So a few ways that I try to overcome these things is writing to-do lists, like writing every little task down, and just the check mark, just that little check mark helps you make progress and move forward.
It's like a recipe, right? If you're trying to make a cake, but you forget the sugar and the flour and the eggs, you don't really have a cake, right? You just have some ingredients that are kind of mashed together into something that's not a cake. And so if you really want to accomplish something, make sure that those steps are in front of you and that you're completing them in the order that you need to complete them.
But I think it's more of a matter of defeating the overwhelm, because you're like, I have this massive project to take care of, and it's so huge that I can't tackle it. But if you're looking at it like huge, right? Like then you're not going to be able to tackle it. And that's why creating the small little accomplishments is, I feel it motivates you to move forward.
This saying is said a lot, is, how do you eat an elephant one bite at a time?
Yeah.
And so like you have to kind of pick those battles that you're gonna take one by one instead of looking at the entire war. Yeah, for sure. I think that's huge. I think another thing for me with procrastination is like I do this trick where I just count to 3. So like if I'm dreading doing something, right, like I'm a particularly lazy person in general, right? Just how I am in my nature. And so for me, if I can convince myself, okay, on the count of 3, I'm going to get up and do whatever it is that I need to do. And on 3, I have to get up and do it. And so mentally, you kind of have to prepare yourself for that kind of thing. And I think working for yourself is kind of that same thing. Like if you're afraid to start something, like just motivate yourself to do it. So like use that method, count to 3. On 3, you have to do it. Or motivate yourself with even consequences or rewards. If I do complete this project by this day, I will get this. Or if I don't complete this project by this day, then I won't get this.
Yeah. So in December, I had a lot of clients coming in, and I was just having a hard time managing it. So I decided to go ahead and get a planner, a physical planner. I'm a very textile type of person where I need to write it down. And my cop out was always I'm using my phone. My phone is my agenda, like everything's in there. But having that extra step of writing it, and then not just writing it, but writing the due dates so that I know, like, by this time you have to have it done, or you need to be at this step in the process. Yeah, that was super helpful.
when you work for yourself or you're working on a project that, you know, no one's the boss of you, you really need to set like a due date for yourself. And so anytime you're working with like a client, like, and they don't have like a direct, like, hey, it needs to be done by this time, like give yourself, you know, a very specific time to get it done by. And so for my projects, it's normally within a week or 2 weeks at the most for me, that project will be done, finished, and delivered, right? Unless there is a bunch of revisions or something like that. And so for me, like setting specific goals, I know for Vanessa, she has like daily stuff that she kind of does that she needs to like go through. So every day she's doing these different tasks. But for me, being like bigger projects and stuff that are kind of like a one-time project and then you move to the next one, it's very important for me to have those deadlines, for me to have in my mind so that I can know, okay, well, I have my to-do list, I have my steps that I need to get done. So I need to do, if I have 10 steps and 5 days to do them, right, then I need to do 2 steps a day in order to get everything done properly. And hopefully I can get it done even faster than that. That's the goal, is to beat that deadline, and to, you know, kind of under promise and over deliver, right? Yeah. That's the goal, is to make your client feel like you care about them so much, that you've, you know, taken extra time and you've you know, made it as quick as possible.
Yeah, I learned that phrase, under promise and over deliver, when I worked at Verizon. And it's kind of been a motto for me, especially for like business, because that is what we want to do. And I feel like even more so as Christians. Yeah. We want to do our best. We want to provide quality and excellence in everything that we do. So
yeah, and make sure that people don't feel like they've been like gypped or like taken advantage of, like, because that's definitely not your intent. At least I hope that's not your intent, right? Yeah. Especially with time management, like making sure that you're not wasting your time, but also making sure that you're not wasting the client's time, I think, is even more important. Right. What are some pitfalls that you've kind of fallen into with trying to get organized, or you know, the whole entrepreneur thing?
Burning out, like taking on too much at a time. There was one week that I made a lot, but I was working until like I had to go to sleep, and I worked the whole weekend, and I happened to have a toxic client. So that week was horrible. Like it set me back. I made a lot of money that week, but it set me back. Like for 2 weeks almost, I feel like I did nothing because I was just so burnt out at that point from working so hard. So that is a tip. Like, you need to take breaks. I even think throughout the work day, like I get up and walk around, I come say hi to Brandon, I'll do dishes, because if I'm like too focused, then it's like, oh, I'm so tired, you know? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think so, for sure. I think that has to be trained too, though. I think a lot of people burn out too quickly as well.
Yeah.
I think that like you have to build up a tolerance for it, because if you're an entrepreneur, like it's very similar to being a pastor, right? Like for me as a pastor, I know that if something happens during the weekend, I can't just be like, nah, like, you know, like I'm not going to deal with it just because I'm off hours, right? And so, like, you know, if one of our lead pastors has to go to the hospital on the weekend to, you know, like pray with someone that's dying, or like, you know, something happens and there's an emergency in someone's family and they have to go be with them, like, there's no off hours. And so it's kind of the same thing with entrepreneurship. Like if Vanessa gets a $3,000 job on a Saturday, you know, and like it's a job that she needs to do today, you know, someone's asking her to do it because they need it done, you know, in the next 30 minutes. That's something that she could take, you know, and she could do that. But it's a tolerance that you have to build up over time too, and you have to know kind of that balance. But at the same time, you have to understand, like, if you want a successful business, like at some level, this has to be, you know, a big part of your life, and you have to make sure that you're not thinking about it like a normal 9-to-5 job, because it's not.
Sure.
And in some ways, that's a great thing, because you have way more flexibility. Yeah. You can leave and, you know, have lunch with someone, or, you know, like take a day off whenever you want to. Like, those are the type of things that you have the flexibility to do if you want to, because your business is what you make it. So that's our kind of quick tips about time management and kind of working for yourself. I think that for me, I can't imagine kind of working in a regular job.
Yeah.
I've never really had a regular job, so it's hard for me to imagine. And whenever people talk to me, I have this good friend of mine who watches our channel and is actually one of our patrons, so thank you very much. You know, they have a really hard job right now, and it frustrates me every single time, because what I want to do is just like shake them and be like, you know, just like pick up a camera, learn how to use it, like, you know, like go learn how to build a website. Like there's so many things that you could learn how to do and just create your own business for, you know, and start making your own living and not have to worry about, you know, a stupid boss that's being mean to you or whatever. Like you could just have so much freedom, and I definitely cherish that in our life, because it gives us time not only to like make money where we want to, but also like spend time with each other or spend time with friends, you know, outside of the pandemic and everything. You know, it gives us flexibility to where if I want to go and, you know, have lunch with one of our high school kids from church, like we can go do that, you know, and it's a flexibility that like money can't buy, you know. Yeah. Like it's just a different way of living, and I don't know that I could go back to a normal job, but I think it's so much more fulfilling.
I agree.
So like we always say in a lot of our videos, we're still learning. We're not the best at anything, and especially this, especially for me, I'm not very good at time management, but there are specific things that I think about, specific tips that I use to try to make my time management better. And over the years, I've definitely gotten a lot better than I used to be. I've gotten myself into a lot of pickles where, you know, I have, you know, one or 2 minutes to figure out this thing, and I'm like freaking out, you know, or a couple of hours, and yeah, and then it stresses everybody else out around me. And so I've gotten a lot better at figuring things out and trying to do them to the best of my ability. I still fail. I still am not the best at it, but you know, I'm working to just be the best time manager that I can be, so that I can, because I want a successful business. That's the end of our video. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. As always, thank you so much to our patrons. They are so amazing that they want to support us every month. And so if you want to join them over there, there's some special perks that you guys will get, communication with us, and some secrets that only they kind of hear about, really. And so we'd love for you guys to go over there. The link is in the description below to help us out. Yeah, and we'll see you guys on the next one, I guess. Peace.